One, two, three. Mic check. Microphone check. One, two, three. If anybody tunes in, can you give me some feedback? Let me know if you can hear me. And let me know how it sounds, please, whenever you tune in, if you tune in. Microphone check. One, two, three. All right, good, good. What's up, Ryan? Okay, how's it coming through? Is it clear? Is it low? Let me see here. That's all of them. Trying to get this. Trying to get this slow connection. Hmm. Now that I don't know what to do about that. That's just I think that's just the internet. Choppy sound. Okay. Let me try something else. Peace, Lady Al. How you doing, sis? Okay, let's do this. Okay, this is one sound source. Okay, so Ryan, you say this is choppy. Is it still choppy? Peace, Mia Moore. Okay, Lady Al says it's clear. Okay. Mia Moore, how's it sounding to you? Trying to test out this equipment. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. Well, I've been getting a few things in order. As you can see back here, I got this board set up. I can't. It's all covered in writing. That's the Candyman on there. Candyman, two sides. So what I've been doing is trying to get all my ducks in a row. I got me a little wireless mic thing here. I got the deal to connect my DSLR, you know, my camera instead of using my phone. Okay, good. Okay. All right. Peace. Thank you, Ryan. I got me a little thing here to connect my camera. So now we can really get down. I also got me a little old school Professor Pointer. So I've been getting all the ducks in a row because I know 1080 was choppy. It's supposed to be able to come through clean at 1080. Okay. 360 at speed. Okay. So I've been getting everything in order here because I have a lot of things that I want to talk about. A lot has been, I guess, as they say, downloads. I've been getting a lot of downloads, and it's a little overwhelming at times. So I've been taking a lot of notes, but so Candyman is coming. I don't know. It might be tonight. Who knows? Might just impromptu do a midnight lecture. Might be tomorrow, but it's coming. Now I got all my little components. I want to tell everybody about some stuff that's going on. So I mentioned these shirts, right? Check out these shirts. Since everybody's all in today, put your mask on and ooh, it's coming to get us, the invisible enemy. This is just to play on up to the hysteria and to irritate a few people too. The old song "Back, Back, Give Me 50 Feet." We just twisted it, back, give me 6 feet. But on the back, I wear these shirts all the time. I got a few of them that I just, I pulled out for myself. But I'm gonna tell you what really bothers people. This, because I see people, like when I'm at the gym, I see them staring at the back. People are like children. People don't like the idea that you don't want to be around them. It bothers people. It's something I don't understand it, but it's like the less you desire to be the center of attention when you go into a place or in a certain space, ironically, you seem to become the center of attention. And unless you know the energy is real, because I think it intimidates people when you don't clamor for attention. I don't know how this thing works, but it's some kind of irony that the less desirous you are of being noticed, the more attention, and sometimes attention you don't want. Lady Al says, like, my life is less than the dog, so my life matters too, for real. So, but look, these shirts are on the website, mastersofthecosmos.com. Now check this out. This is what I'm doing though. I got these things on the website too. This is my book. Okay. The Lies Behind the Ties. It's a historical and metaphysical book. Okay. And this is, I had to turn off my autofocus, so it's not automatically focusing like it normally would, the camera. Either way, you can see it. Scribe it, say it, sex it. This is available on the website. Okay. Now this is what we got going on for as long as it's going to be going on. I don't know. You buy these two. Okay. When you buy these two, this book and this document, I'll send you one of these out for free. I got sizes for the ladies and for the men, from small all the way up to 3X. So if you order the book and you get this document, this is just $11.11, but it is a worthwhile investment. And if you've gotten one of these, give me some feedback. I mean, I don't need to be all in your business, but I'm just mean, feedback that is comfortable for you. Like you know what I'm trying to say. Nobody trying to be all up in your life, but I want to know, like, people have been giving me feedback about the book, and please continue. As a matter of fact, this is what I'm asking for. If you've gotten the book, if the book is, if you've enjoyed and you've learned from the book, please email me info@mastersofthecosmos.com, because and basically just tell me what your thoughts are on the book, okay? Because of course I want to use those, just like it's nothing like a review or a testimony. And I'm not trying to use the normal engines. I like to do everything in-house, so I'll put it up on my website, okay? Or I don't know, I might put it on YouTube or whatever. But if you've enjoyed the book and you learn from it, then let me know. Likewise with this document, please let me know. And again, if you purchase both, we get you a shirt for free. If you've already bought a book, or you've just bought the document and you want to get the other, whatever, all you gotta do is just holler at me and let me know. Say, hey Jamal, I got both, boom, boom, and I'll send you a shirt out. If you've already bought both of them, a book and a shirt, a book and the document, which some people have, please just send me an email at mastersofthecosmos.com and with your address again, and I'll send you out one of these shirts. We got some other shirts coming too. That's one. This next one's a scorcher, and it's gonna. Well, we'll just leave it at that. Let's see who's here. Lady Al says they don't like to be observed. I always pause and watch people's reaction instead of arguing. Facts, indeed. Oh no, this is Brianna. What's up, Brianna? Lady Al says ties was supposedly what you sold from your garden. Yep, that's part of it. Here's the site. Masters of the Cosmos.com. Straight Panther in the house. What's happening? Make sure I spelled it right. Masters of the Cosmos.com. Yeah. I don't want to start talking about what I want to talk about because I want to save it to do. I don't want to have to rush and do this thing and not be able to finish when the kiddos get back and they'd be off the chain. But I will say this. Something's been coming through real heavy, real tough, and I talked it over with some of my contemporaries, and we always chop it up through text, or sometimes it might be on the phone, and there's an overwhelming energy of Ma'at. And it turns out that I was seeing some things and I didn't know that they were related to Ma'at. And we hear that term Ma'at and we may think of the traditional definitions that we've learned of reciprocity and justice and righteousness. And I believe that those motifs hold true. It's just that when we use those words, sometimes they can be a little maybe misleading from the standpoint of the fact that we basically learn connotative linguistics, meaning we learn things based on the accepted definition of words. But if you think about birth and you think about how when a child is born, in most instances, everybody's celebratory. They gather around, they might bring balloons. They might bring flowers and treats and so forth, or might bring the man a cigar. But the last few months of a pregnancy and the last few weeks of a pregnancy, from my observation, because of course I've never gone through that and don't want to even imagine what it's like, but from observation, I've seen that it's a very rough patch. It's a very, very rough patch. When my son was born, we went to this quack. We wanted to try out the doulas, the in-home water birth, but we went to a woman. She was an older woman, so we assumed that she was this skilled, seasoned professional. It turns out she was an idiot, and really put my wife and my son's lives in jeopardy. So those were tumultuous times, especially those last 10 days. My son was born 10 days late. He was really supposed to be born on February 17th. He was born on the 27th because the idiot kept telling my wife she wasn't in labor, but she was. But that's a whole nother story. But the point is, it was a rough, tumultuous time to bring about my son, who of course is a joy to both of us. That possibly could give a better reflection or representation of my aunt. Things were looking real chippy, You sitting there when they're monitoring the heart rate of your soon-to-be born child, and you see the heart rate keeps dropping. I mean, baby's heart rate is supposed to be high, But when that baby, you see that, you're looking at that monitor, and you kind of just trying to be cool and calm. You don't want your wife to panic, and you don't want to panic, and thankfully we ended up going into the hospital, and some actual medical professionals got this thing, got it on through. But it's kind of how I see these times right now. There's a birth coming, a beautiful, healthy, strong baby is coming, but we're in the last trimester, and eventually the water's going to break. But there is something on the other side, something beautiful. There's something beautiful. Brianna said, what books am I? Show my latest book hauls. This is the secret Hebrew words. And this is going to be a part of the discussion of my. This is some key stuff in there. Let me show you some. Let me show you some of my other rare books I just got in that I've been on a. I gotta chill out. I've been on a book buying spree here. I gotta go in hiatus for a little bit. Spiritual astrology. This was recommended by one of the subscribers, Lordy Ma. I think that's her handle on here. She recommended this book, Spiritual Astrology. Got this. Very pertinent for the times that we're in, as far as there's a lot of things going on in the stars that are weighing heavy on our reality, especially Jupiter and Pluto conjuncting. Jupiter and Pluto conjuncting again. This is a heavy one. 2-volume set. Sex Symbolism in Religion. Now just look at this. Look at this. If sex symbolism in religion. So if sex is just about procreation and fulfilling a urge, I just don't know how you can fill up 2 volumes. This is 1,000 pages worth of information. This is 600. Let's see, 600. This is 500 something. This is 1,100 pages of information on sex symbolism in religion. Now you see why this is not just poppycock. Okay. Then here's another one here. This is a very rare book, Geoponica. Okay. This book goes back to probably the 5th century, at least 5th century Common Era. And it's just all types of just quirky, crazy sounding things about husbandry as in farming. But it's what's crazy is it's also metaphysical. Okay. There's a section in here, a subsection, bees and how they are ox born from an ox carcass. This is a metaphysical description. And the way it's presented is like, this is really how you start a beehive out of a dead ox. And they talk about how you set up the room, how you got to board up the windows. And when you read it, it's like you're studying Kabbalah. Something I want to say about that. It was some. Oh yeah, this is why you read the bibliography in your books. Are we still going? I thought I heard something click. Is it still live? Somebody let me know. Are we still live? Okay. All right. All right. This is why we read the bibliography. Oh, I hit the record button. Um, so this book, I got this book years ago. It's called Forbidden Secrets of the Labyrinth. Okay. And this book basically is how I found out about this book. And when I read it, I was like, this is crazy. And this book is hard to find. You know, I think it came from, I don't know, this might have come from the UK. But that's just a sidebar about how you find stuff. You should always read your bibliography in the back of the book, because that's really the meat. That's really the meat and potatoes of the book, is the bibliography. Same thing with this. This is why in here you go to the back. Let's see. Here's the bibliography. Where's the bibliography? Wait a minute. The bibliography is in front of the notes. There we go. See? Bibliography. You know? And see, therefore, before you even take, you might like me and everything, but even before you all at least consider the sources that I'm putting down and go and study them. But that's really like this. That's where you study to show thyself approved, you know? Go read these bibliographies, and they'll keep taking you back and back and back, and you start getting to the root of things. When you buying books, look for books too that are from early 19th century, early 20th century on back into the 19th century. This is somebody that you all have in your library, Godfrey Higgins. Now, this is a rare known Godfrey Higgins book. Now, a lot of people know about his book, Anacalypsis. You know, you might have learned about it from watching John Henry Clark videos or Dr. Ben videos, but that's not all he wrote. He's got a book called The Celtic Druids. Now, if you really want to get something that ties in and explains a lot of Moorish history, you need to get this book. As a matter of fact, just look at the cover. Now, the title is The Celtic Druids, okay? Now, understand, Godfrey Higgins was a big time, I think he was a big time Freemason. Like he was, he went by the moniker of Sir Godfrey Higgins. But just look closely. Look at this gentleman right here. Celtic Druids. But look at this guy right here. I don't know if you can really see him. Look at his features. Look at those wide nostrils. Okay. This is not exactly what we consider as Druid Celtic features. And when he starts out the book, I want to see where he wrote that. I thought I highlighted it, but he said something. You got to think now. These, you want to talk about people, true pioneering efforts. This man is writing in, we know about Gerald Massey, but Godfrey Higgins is before Gerald Massey. That's how his books go back to the mid 1800s. Gerald Massey is writing in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Higgins is writing 1830 something up to the mid 1850s. Let me see. Let's look how he starts his book. A little previously to the time that when the following work was commenced, the author had made arrangements for a journey to Egypt. Wait a minute, I want to get down to where he says. Mm, uh, the author feels himself under no obligation to answer anonymous writers, but he thinks it proper to notice very shortly some observations by a gentleman who the author believes is not in the habit of writing things to which he is ashamed to put his name. Uh, I can't remember where it was, but there's something here. He says some people will allow bigotry to prevent their digestion of the truth. Basically, is what he's saying. But I didn't highlight this because when I first got it, I wasn't going to highlight it. Then as I started reading, I decided to go and start marking it up because I marks my books up. But there's all types of stuff in here. Stones of Stennis, Bremen, Yorkshire. And what he does is he leans heavily on etymology. Heavily. In this book, he talks a lot about etymology. He talks a lot about etymology in Anacalypsis. And if you read very closely, a lot of these authors from the early 1900s and back, they always put a, let me give you another example. Here's a series of books that you definitely are worth getting. These books are by Rudolf. These are some Rudolf Steiner lectures. Okay, I don't know if you can, is it showing up in the camera? Okay, this one particular, Spirit as Sculptor of the Human Organism. And I want to read something he says in here. He's talking about the spleen, okay? And just listen to this. If you take an organ such as the spleen, you will find that ordinary physiology and medicine don't have much to say about it. In the relevant textbooks, you will find very little about the spleen, a note perhaps to say that little is known about its function. You can find this in all the textbooks, just have to look. Nor is this at all surprising. The genius of language is in fact a great deal wiser in this instance, and in many others too, than science. The word spleen is very accurate, for it is connected with all human activities that go above and beyond the I and approach the spirit self. The spleen, in fact, is the organ of the spirit self and takes us a long way into the realm of spirit. But approaching the spirit self requires persistence and endurance. Most people cannot endure a really spiritual realm, and this means that spleen activity in them does not stimulate them to spiritual activity, but they become full of spleen instead. They become downcast and irritable. Spleen is nothing other than spirit, which devours itself in the intestines, and the word spleen is therefore an excellent name, pointing as it does to a spiritual quality for what the spleen is, the corresponding organ. Now, I only read all that just to, again, to reiterate the importance of, I know I'm just rambling here, the importance of knowing origins of words. Like when you just see a word with SP period, just like spirit is SP. If you see a word with SP, then it has a spiritual component to it. Even like words like spice. Spice, spices are spirits. So when you spice your food, you are putting, it is infusing spirit into the food. Now, on the most mundane level, of course not. It's just, oh, it tastes good. But the known is a gateway to the unknown. You know? Another organ, too, while we're on this, that is very important right now is the liver. The liver. And that's a conversation we got to come back and have. I started talking about the liver last year, and we got to come back and we got to circle back on the liver again. And we're going to reference these Rudolf Steiner books. Sport. There you go. Sport. Brianna says that was the word I was thinking. That's right. Spice. Straight Panther said I sub to the Rudolph. Oh, okay, excellent. You know, spoiled. 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 You have to, and then see that word like that? Spoon. Now just think all these words. Listen to the words. Spoiled. Spoiled is just the same as ripening. Okay? Ain't it funny? You know, when I study language, the more I find, especially when you study Hebrew words, Hebrew shows you, and when you get to the etymology of words, period, they start to show you, they reflect their opposite in their origin. Like the word give. Give comes from Geb, which I would liken even to the Cometian deity Geb. But give comes from Geb, G-H-E-B-H. And Geb means to give and receive. You know? Eve in Hebrew means Hayah and Hawa. Hawa, I think, is life, and I think Hayah is destruction. You know? And it's funny because Jacob, whose name is Supplanter, he chases behind Esau. Coming out the womb, he grabs the heel. Esau is destruction. You know, and destruction ties back to the word heel, H-E-E-L. But H-E-E-L is really H-E-A-L. So destruction is the ultimate antidote for healing. Ain't that crazy? What I'm so fascinated with language because one of the things I found is that especially when you study the Kabbalion, and the Kabbalion shows basically is 7 different principles of some form of duality or polarities. Okay, language is the reconciling of polarities. Because each word ends up showing its doppelganger. Y'all hold on. Okay. Damn, I still got the damn mic on. Spot, spin, Hawaii. Now just look at Hawaii, where the hello is aloha. Aloha becomes Jehovah. Jehovah, Yahuwah. You know, this language is just, it's just, oh man, it's so fascinating. Spot, spin, spirit, spinning, spot, spot, as in the first, the first inclination of existence that comes out of the nothingness. Spoiled, the other side of ripening. Sport, the activity, the movement, life itself, sport. I mean, it's just, do you know if there are frequencies, even the word sprung? Yes, sprung as in spring, from the same root as blood. Do you know if there are any frequencies for the organs, sound, vibration, word? There are. There are. I can't say off the top of my head that I know all the, you know, I'm not proficient in that, getting down to the actual frequencies. I just need, I think though, I have a lot of clues in this library. I just ain't had the time to dig through all of this stuff. I think these Rudolf Steiner books are definitely a good start. And anything coming out of the Rosicrucian Library, Max Heindel, look for some of his stuff. H-E-N, I think H-E-N-D-E-L. Check out Aleem Bay for sound. Yes, check out Dr. Aleem, because that's because, and especially dealing with the breath and the frequencies. That's his wheelhouse. Here's another one: Occult Anatomy and the Bible. We're gonna come back and talk. I've talked about this book. We're gonna come back because these two, the liver. We got to come back and talk about the liver. The liver. But let's see, what other books? What other books? I've been. Oh yeah, this one. Here's another one. Etymological Dictionary of Biblical Hebrew. Now this is a rough book. This one you got to take your time and just really read through the introduction to really understand how this thing is set up. And this book is a great example of eating the fish and spitting out the bones, because it's not beneath people to run a little game when they write that stuff. So these people who write this thing, so they try to let me give you an example. Propaganda. There's a section in this that says uniqueness of Hebrew. The inner symmetry of the Hebrew language was described by Hirsch. Clearly, this book is based on his research. Described as Hirsch clearly reflects his understanding of Hebrew as God's language. Excuse me, sorry. I know I killed y'all on that mic. He states repeatedly that one should not look to foreign languages to find meanings in the Torah. That's game. That's game. The Hebrew language is self-contained, and although not all words are in Torah, Hebrew provide all that is needed for the student of Torah to understand its words and phrases. That's game. That's game. Because that separates a person from getting, like, if studying language is like trying to find who committed a crime. It's like being a detective. And so this right here is almost a statement like that is an attempt to block full understanding by trying to propagate the idea that this language just stands alone by itself. When in the first book of the Hebrew Bible or the Torah, it tells a story of there being one language and there being a tower that was built in a place called Babel. Now, that's not a historical story, but it's a real story. It's a mythology that is real. And based on that, there is no such thing as one language being completely just self-contained. And it's just, at some point, at least from my studies, everything overlaps. Everything interweaves. So that's just a little idea, just how that game goes down of it, you know, only us and nobody else is in our club type, that game. It's just a little fun book right here. This is not really, you know, it's not something that's all that important, but I got it. Look at this one. Jewish family names and their origins. My, oh my. The names that are in here. And it's funny because a brother did a video and he mentioned, he was talking about how, you know, well-known cat. He was talking about how sometimes at least Fox is a little more, even-handed in their reporting. And his whole thing is always about the, the Zionists. That the Zionists, their hands are in everything and so forth. Some of y'all may know who I'm talking about. And somebody put up a message in the comments and said, but Rupert Murdoch is a real estate agent too, you know? And he put up something from Wikipedia that says that Rupert Murdoch is, comes from Anglo-Saxon background and so forth. First of all, Rupert is a dead giveaway, but Murdoch, check this out. We're just kicking it, I'm about to get off of here. Let me show you something. Murdoch. Let me see if I can find it. Look at this. See if y'all can see that. See, I need that auto. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn this auto focus on for a minute. So this thing can focus in on this. Where's that Murdoch at? Right there. Look at that. Murdoch from Mordecai. Rupert Murdoch, Mordecai. So this is why, and so this leads to another thing. Even, oh man, now we got this. I thought I could turn it off. Oh well, we're just gonna have to deal with that until I get off. So that means I automatically turned it on inside the camera too. Oh well. This is the reason I always put an emphasis on these books and things is so that you don't become reliant on people talking to you, because people can sound real good. I mean, it's great orators, in the world. I mean, can talk eloquently and just be on point, and boom, 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 boom. But, and that even goes for me, you should never just take it. Blessed are those who read, do your own little bit of digging, because sometimes people just finessing the game, just reading Wikipedia, and if you don't read, you really wouldn't know. But those who read, you know, it's not just about sitting around collecting information. It gives you, it's just like when they talk about in this book here, Mircea Eliot's Myth and Reality. Okay. Uh, um, they talk about how by understanding a myth and reenacting it, that one gains, if we're going to use the word power, and I say that quotation marks, power over the myth. Maybe a better way of putting that is that one is able to access that energy by knowing it. And that's not just saying that you just sit back and know things and just say, oh, I know a lot and I'm just sitting here. But if you can know something before you move, that's just a whole different means, a whole different confidence that's unexplainable when you move forward, by taking the time to study, and that's the marriage. That's the marriage. That's marrying both sides of your mind, being creative enough to think outside the box, but disciplined enough to put some study into that wacky, what people might think is wacky, out of the box thinking, that creates this world beyond the one that you see, and you've created this world with your imagination. Then you take your critical analytical mind and you able to go into that world and study it as though it is something already tangible, and then you make it tangible. I don't know if that makes sense, So I'm coming back with Candyman. As you can see, oh, you can't even see because I got the auto thing on there. It won't focus in. But the Candyman lecture is on the board. Okay. I'm coming back with that. I've got again, if you go to the website, you get you one of these for free. All right. Once you purchase this document and you purchase the book, you get you a shirt for free. I want to send a shout out to everybody who's been supporting. And as always, stay down until you get up. You get up, stay down. Stay tuned. We're coming back and we're about to get into some real show enough teaching. All right. Peace.